Hey everybody, it's Steve Clayton here, coming to you from my office in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And thanks for taking a couple minutes to hear about what's really a game-changing software called crowdforce. I'm pretty excited to tell you about it. It comes as no shock, I'm sure, to all of you that the one single key ingredient to every successful online business is traffic, right? I've never ever seen a product or service for sale, no matter how good the product or service is, I've never seen it be successful without traffic, right? I mean, you can't get traffic, you can't make sales. Conversely, I've really never seen something that couldn't be tweaked to make money if you in fact are able to get traffic. So I think we can all agree, pretty straightforward, easy concept to understand. Traffic is absolutely key to making money online. You get traffic, you make money. It's the bottom line. So how are we able to get traffic? Well, two big ways historically. Obviously there are some other variations on themes and so on, but historically it's been paid traffic, and most likely that might be AdWords. And there are obvious downsides to that. You have to pay for it. There's a lot of risk, a lot of complexity, things like that. And then search engine optimization, right? So used to be pretty straightforward. We might pick 3 to 5 keyword phrases that we wanted to target. They had a lot of search volume. We would take a look and we'd say, well, how's the competition? Is it strong? Do I feel like I can compete and break into that top, search engine rankings, get on the first page, get in the top 5? If I can, great. Let me do a whole bunch of SEO, a lot of link building, a lot of exact anchor text. I'll break into the top 5 and I'll start to get the traffic, and then I'll stay there. And boom, I've got my business, I've got traffic, which means I've got money, life is good. But what's changed? A lot's changed, right? So the SEO game is, over the last, call it 5 years, has been changing dramatically, okay? So we would find these, we can still find these top keyword phrases, but then let's talk about the competition. Well, we don't even know, we never really knew Google's algorithm, but we at least had some ideas, right? We understood about, high-value backlinks and blog networks and anchor text and all that kind of stuff. So with that understanding, we could go in there and we could evaluate the competition, and we could see if we could break into the top of the search engine rankings. Nowadays, it's impossible to figure it out, okay? With Panda and Penguin and Panda version 4.2 and the algorithm, remember, it used to change like once every 2 years or something like that. Now, the algorithm literally changes daily. So who can keep up with that? So the first step in our process, finding how strong the competition is to see if we can break into the top of the search engine rankings, we can't do it anymore. But even if we could, okay, let's assume we could. The next step then is, well, let's break into the top of the search engine rankings. Let's get into that top 5. Okay, well, for the same reason we can't evaluate competition anymore, we can't effectively break into the top 5, or we can't count on it as we used to be able to, right? You can still do it, but the consistency with which you're able to do it and sort of betting your whole business on it just doesn't make any sense anymore, right? So we really can't effectively build a strategy that breaks into the top 5 for those keyword phrases anymore. But even if we could, okay, let's think about that for a second. So we break into the top 5, then the next step is we have to stay there in order for this to be a viable business, in order to keep getting the traffic. Well, with the algorithm changing every single day, how the heck do you stay there? There are examples of businesses being completely just obliterated every single day. They wake up in the morning and they have, they went to bed with a hugely successful $1 million business. They wake up and it's gone. And it's gone because Google changes the algorithm at their whim, okay? And the traffic is no longer there. No traffic, no money, all right? So, I always like to talk about, imagine you're pitching a business idea before anybody really understood the internet, and you're saying, yeah, it's great, it's fantastic, I get this great product, I get this great service, we're gonna make a ton of money. One little problem, it completely relies, and 100% relies, on traffic that is controlled by a third party that we have no control over, and that we don't really even understand how they work. That's like insanity. Nobody would pitch that kind of a business idea, and yet that's the world we've been living in. So if traffic is key, and paid traffic has its problems, and SEO is a huge issue for all the reasons I just talked about, what the hell are we supposed to do? So as it turns out, only about 15 to 20% of the time, depending on who you ask, depending on what study you look at, are people using Google, are people searching. So what are they doing? Well, I mean, they're on Facebook, they're on their forums that they like, that are, their hobbies or whatever, they're doing research, they're on blogs, they're on Facebook, they're watching cat videos on YouTube, who knows what they're doing, right? But they're doing a lot of it, okay? Because only 20% of the time are they searching. So, well, tell me, think about this, have you ever had this experience where, you're on your favorite forum or you're on your favorite blog or, something along those lines, and somebody talks about a product or a service and and it interests you and you go out and buy it. Has that ever happened to you? Or at least you go visit the website and you learn more about it. Those are traffic sources. Those are great traffic sources. They tend to be smaller, but they tend to be really, really highly, a lot of high commercial intent. So, is that a place that we might be able to get traffic from? There's all these pockets of traffic that are on the internet. I mean, the best example would be, well, if you think about it, what if you were doing research, and I'm sure this has happened to you, you're thinking about a product that you want to buy, and you type in, product review or thoughts about the product, and up comes a forum or a blog, and you can see what other people are talking about, and maybe they even direct you to a place to go purchase it. These are the kinds of things that people are doing with their other 80% of the time. And if you could get in there, and for example, if you could be on a forum post where somebody says, hey, where can I buy train horns? And you sell train horns? What if you knew about that? What if you could go in there and you could say, well, I sell them and I have great prices and great selections, and here's my website. Something along those lines. I'm sure that we've all experienced that sort of thing happening. And those are the kinds of small pockets of traffic that if you could find a way to sort of take advantage of quickly, easily, you could sort of build those up in a short period of time, and those small little pockets of traffic add up to a lot of traffic that is very, very highly converting traffic, because there's tons of commercial intent. So, but how do we do that? I mean, that sounds very complicated, right? I mean, there's, all these different little conversations, these little pockets of traffic happening all over the internet. How do we wrangle that? How do we work that? So this is what crowdforce is all about. This is what its reason for existence is. You can think of crowdforce as a few different things. One is a virtual assistant, a monitor, if you will. It's constantly monitoring the whole internet, and it's trying to find these pockets of traffic, these conversations, that are going on that you should be inserting yourself into. Okay, and so that's one part of it. The next part is a workflow, a whole environment. As you can imagine, there are a lot of these conversations, that are happening out there, and they're all over the place, and it's very disjointed and hard to kind of get your arms around, right? So crowdforce is also a very sophisticated yet easy to use workflow environment. Okay. And so you can go in there and you can see the kinds of conversations that crowdforce has found for you, the kinds of pockets of traffic, and you can decide whether you want to deal with them now, deal with them later, ignore them, outsource them, okay? And then that's the final piece, is that crowdforce is actually an outsource management tool. So that if you have other people working for you, maybe you want to start out by using crowdforce by yourself, but you want to have people offshore, kind of taking advantage of all these little pockets of opportunity. That's where the outsourcing piece comes in. So how does it really work? It's pretty straightforward. You go in and you explain to crowdforce, hey, I've got a project, and my project is a website where I'm selling services or product. And you tell crowdforce about it. You say, well, in general, it's about train horns or air horns or car horns, things like that, is the example that I always like to use, because we sell train horns on an e-commerce site. But this could work for affiliate marketing. It works for anything. I mean, affiliate marketing, e-commerce, Kindle books, and absolutely anything, even selling on Amazon. It doesn't matter, right? Because all of these places need traffic, and all of them can be influenced by these little pockets of traffic. So you tell crowdforce, hey, this is what it's all about. These are the kinds of conversations that I'm interested in. And then crowdforce just constantly is out there on the internet finding these little pockets of traffic. With crowdforce, we call those opportunities, and it presents you with those opportunities, and it says, well, look, here are the things that I've found. And you can slice and dice them in all sorts of different ways to make it easier to work them. But you spend some time and you go through the opportunities, and then you can decide, you know, I'm going to add this to my to-do list so that when I work my opportunities, which I usually do on Saturday morning for an hour or whatever, I'm going to take care of these. Or you could just take care of it right then and there, okay? Or you can say, you know what, I'm not interested in this. Or you can say, I want to outsource this, okay? And so that's basically how it works. It's a virtual assistant, it's a workflow, it's an outsourced management, and the whole reason for its existence is it goes out, it finds these little pockets of traffic, and it allows you to insert yourself into the conversation and get these highly converting pieces of traffic that add up over time. Great example, again, to use that forum example. If somebody posts in a forum somewhere, hey, where do I buy train horns? crowdforce will say, warning, warning, you know, here is a conversation you need to be a part of. Here's the URL, here's what you should be doing, and so just click on it and then go interact, be a part of that conversation and drive traffic to your website or outsource it, right? And the crowdforce traffic secret really is a three-pronged attack, because as you can imagine, just by virtue of making that forum post in this example, people who are very interested in this stuff will be on that forum, they'll see that post, and they will go to your website. Okay, it's a, you know, probably a small amount of traffic, but it goes on forever. Even if it's a couple a day, right? You know, that adds up over time. That's one way. The other way is, I'm sure that you've done some searches online where you've said, hey, I want to do some research on this product, and up comes not the product, not a website that sells the product, but forums. Because Google loves social proof. Google loves crowdsourcing, okay? And so the second way is that conversations that you insert yourself into will often show up in search engine rankings for search terms and stuff that you don't even know, but you don't care because it's all good traffic, okay? So people will go, they'll search Google, they'll go to the forum, they'll click your link. Boom, winner, winner, all right? The third way is that we do know that SEO still works, you know, and no secret, it works with backlinks. Well, everything that you're doing here is a backlink, okay? So some extra gravy is you're gonna start to penetrate the search engine rankings for your website. But the key is you won't be defined by that. You won't have to live and die by that. When Google changes its algorithm, okay, well, your traffic might go up or down and you'll adjust and all that kind of good stuff. But it doesn't matter, right? Because you've got these other two ways that you're getting traffic, and you're not building your whole business on just relying on Google, who you have no control over and no understanding of, okay? Because these pockets of traffic are different. They do not rely on you breaking into the top of the search for the search engine ranking pages with Google. I think one of the true powerful things about crowdforce is that it's not a gimmick. You know, it's not a loophole. It's not you know, some flash in the pan, right? It's good, solid. It's kind of like what Google says to do all the time, which is, ironically enough, which is do SEO by not doing SEO. Well, we're not doing SEO, right? We are finding pockets of traffic, places where it's appropriate for us to enter a conversation and insert ourselves so that we can drive traffic to our websites. And so that is hugely, hugely powerful and something that has a lot of staying power. It's not going to disappear overnight. We also have, we've got tons of people that have been using crowdforce over the last couple years. And you know, this has never been available publicly as a standalone product. We developed it a couple years ago, and we've only included it in a couple of our very higher end information products, training products. So it's never ever been available as a standalone product. And yet we do have a couple thousand people that have been using it very, very successfully. Just a couple examples, we've got Dave, who, you know, using crowdforce has doubled his traffic, doubled his earnings, getting into the thousands of visitors per day. And, you know, I mean, viable websites, you can create very, very viable websites with just a couple hundred visitors a day and a 1% conversion rate. But, you know, crowdforce over time can start to build that way up. We've got Milan, who's quadrupled his traffic and earnings are going up accordingly as well, and so many others. Just we don't have time to go through them all, but lots of people using crowdforce very, very effectively. And again, I think the key is that it is not a loophole, and this is an incredibly powerful piece of software that has only been available to a tiny, tiny portion of people up until right now. Guys, it's time to make a decision here. I cannot stress this enough, okay? This has been in development, and we've been using it for a couple of years now, and we have never offered it as a standalone product in this way. So this is a one-time opportunity, and it will go away. Once we reach 1,000 users, this offer will come down, period, okay? So it could be gone in a matter of minutes at this point, all right? This is super powerful software, and it is an amazing opportunity that you will not see again, all right? So this is the time to jump in, to press the order button, to join us, and to start getting crowdforce to be your virtual assistant, your workflow, and your outsourcing agent, so that you can start to drive traffic. And remember, if you drive traffic, you get money online, okay? It is a simple, simple equation. So this is truly limited opportunity. Press the button, join us now.